Right, apologies. We're just having some technical difficulties, mainly because I'm trying to record and watch DeRo on my PC's made of wood. It's like a Windows 95 dial-up, so doing the best I can. Anyway, this fifth and final game in this AquaLeagues Mid Wars is gonna be between DeRo and Napstar. These players have fought it out, they really have, but it's now or never, and I think it's quite an even matchup. We got our Napstar going for his Skyraf Mage and DeRo going for Lina. Um, so we've got the same builds that they had before. These Null Talismans and Fairy Fires, looking like
Battle will commence in 30 seconds.
they can really you can really make some plays with those because you can easily misjudge how much HP someone can have. I would imagine, like last time, DeRo's probably going to pick up an early Magic Wand, and just to help against the spam of Skyraf Mage. It's going to actually be a very hard early. It's actually going to be a very difficult early game for Lina, I think, just because the ability for Skyraf Mage to spam out. Now let's see how they do with their blocks. Napstar doing well early with his blocks, and none of these players have let any creeps slip. Such a small advantage, isn't it? Just letting the creeps, who gets there first. Looks like DeRo has let one go past already. Napstar has managed to keep his. He's been very, very what's the word? Very consistent with his blocks, and it looks like it's going to pay off. They are going to sit up by his high ground, and we can see already that Lina's just taking a lot of damage to these arcane bolts. They're coming out thick and fast. It's given the ability, and Napstar's, he's getting the last hits as well. He's not going crazy. So we see no last hits for Lina, and 4-1 for our Skyraf Mage. So now I personally think this matchup is going to be nigh on impossible for Lina, personally, because of silence. If Skyraf Mage silences, then there isn't a lot they can do. The only way, and I mean the only way I can see this going south for DeRo, sorry, for Napstar, the only way I can see this going south for Skyraf Mage is if Lina manages to get a stun, basically, a Light Strike away off, and then into Laguna Blade. That's the only way, because in a man fight, in a mono versus mono, Skyraf Mage is always going to use that silence, and that's basically going to render Lina pretty much useless unless she has got some right clicks behind her. So the spam's going to come out. Napstar really wants this victory. He's gonna play the war of attrition, wear her down till she can't keep going. You can just see it through the last hits and denies. We've got 9 last hits and 4 denies for our Skyraf Mage, and Lina with a measly 2, although it's very difficult because, as we can see, the arcane bolts are flying out. Double damage for Lina is gonna help if she can actually manage to get some damage onto the Skyraf Mage. It's gonna be some serious damage if she can manage. The trouble is, Skyraf Mage can just attack from so far away, just because like arcane bolt is. You can see the radius of it. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, I think DeRo's just going to use his double damage rune just to kind of catch up in the last hits a little bit, get some damage onto this mid tower. That's the one thing I would say. If DeRo can manage to take this game a little bit longer, he has a massive advantage when it comes to tower pushing. If he can manage just to make Napstar go back to base for whatever reason, he could. It only takes a few creep waves and you could have the tower down. So that's one area I would say Lina has an advantage. Fight-wise, I would say Napstar's got a massive ability here, and looks like DeRo is already taking a lot of damage, gets slowed, the arcane bolts come out. Not going to be enough, but takes a lot of damage, as you can see, just because of that silence, the amplified damage from it. It's so effective, and in this early game, DeRo's going to have to be really careful. Surprised he's going to go bottle first, which is a wise choice. You would always want bottle, but I would imagine he would pick magic stick afterwards. And we can see just the difference in the fact that, Napstar, our Skyreth Mage is level 5, and Lina's sort of not really, just over halfway there to level 5. It's quite a big, it's quite a significant difference, you know. Like an extra point in one of the spells in this kind of stage can be quite huge. But Lina is going to hit her level 5 now. Skyreth Mage picks up a bounty rune, which is going to put him nearer to level 6, and this could bring up a good timing, a good opportunity if Skyreth Mage is able to hit. It hits his level 6 early and is able to get off a good Mystic Flare, then obviously that presents a serious problem, because I can't. Light Strike Away is going to be at least two creep waves away, whereas it looks like Skyreth Mage is going to hit his level 6 after the next creep. So very good opportunity here. It doesn't have mana for everything though. Is going to salve up. Looks like he does want to make something happen. Lina's just going to go back to base. I think probably aware that this is a dangerous moment and needs to play a little bit more cautiously. Make sure she has the regen available. Has got a ward. And it is nighttime, so vision is going to be an issue for both of these players. Napstar does have a ward securing informing him of the top rune. And he's just going to support and just going to get more last hits. Looking at the net worth, we can see that Napstar has taken about a 400 gold lead over DeRo, which, you know, it could honestly be a lot worse. DeRo could be dead. that could be how much worse it could be. So Napstar definitely got an advantage here. And DeRo's still waiting on that level 6. Once Laguna Blade's up, all hell could break loose. We are going to see the 6-minute rune pop in a minute. Or not in a minute, it's actually going to pop in 5 seconds. I don't think Napstar wants to spam out those arcane bolts too much, just because I think he wants to save mana for that ulti. He wants to make it happen. Lina's going to pick up a regeneration rune, which could be quite valuable actually. The best rune I think she could have picked up. Looking at the last hits, Lina's caught up quite significantly actually. That early game was very difficult. I would say we're still in the early game. We're starting transition into a more later phase. This 1-for-1 matchup. Looks like they are going to go on each other. Laguna does get popped out. Arcane bolts and Mystic Flares come out. Silences come out. Mystic Flare didn't come out. Sorry, Mystic Flare came out and missed quite substantially. Actually, that was not really. That wasn't that close either. So looks like everyone's had a good old go at using all their spells. But no one's going to fall. And Skyreth Mage is going to go back to fight another day. Mystic Flare, very low cooldown. Laguna Blade, a very low cooldown as well. So I wouldn't say anyone has to wait a tremendously long amount of time to use their ultimates again. DeRo is going to head. He's going to head back to base. Yeah, he's going to decide to. And Skyreth Mage is just going to take up farming in the mid. Just looking at net worth, still 400 gold lead for Napstar, Skyreth Mage, which is quite handy at this stage in the game. Item build wise, he's got his Null Talisman, he's got his cloak, which is very handy. Obviously, most of 70% of Lina's damage is gonna come through those spells, so having the 15% magic resistance is going to be very helpful. Lina, getting that wand, that's endlessly helpful against those arcane bolts and just generally everything that comes out of Skyreth Mage. Lina is going to get a haste here. Can she make a play with it? Runes are going to be a big factor here. Looks like she's looking to do something. Laguna Blade is up. So is Mystic Flare. This could be a very tense moment. Looks like we're going to go into a fight here. Is she going to... She's going to lead. She hits the Dragon Slave, but decides to back out. Doesn't want anything to do with that. Skyreth Mage gets 4 arcane bolts off and does look like it's... No, it does decide to use... Oh, Lina's dropping very low. And that's first blood. Sorry, I couldn't even commentate through that. I was so tense. I was just very nervous, but Skyrath Mage gets away on what would have been about 40, between 40 and 45 HP. Oh, there's barely anything in it. Looking at what that's done to the net worth, we can see that our Skyrath Mage now has about a 1600 net worth advantage now. But Alina has the late game, and when I say late game, I mean, you know, mid. You know what I mean. She has the ability to push a tower, which Skyrath Rage really doesn't. So I would say at this stage, it is Napstar's game to lose. He's 2 levels ahead of our Lina. I mean, I don't know how I play this. If you're in DeRo's position, I think you just keep waving the creeps. You wait this one out. You try not to die.
Dire's middle tower is under siege.
You know, like Napstar can't do any damage to this. So I think that's how you'd play it. I always kind of root for the underdog, but Napstar's played some awesome Dota so far. And he kind of knows. I think he knows he has to make a play happen. He has to secure this game, and it's probably not going to come through the tower. So he has to secure this with a kill, essentially. Lina obviously isn't in that position, and securing it by a kill is getting harder and harder for the minute. That's another thing. Napstar doesn't really have the best way to clear creep waves. Obviously, the Arcane Bolt can be helpful and whatnot, but it's not like a Punya or something like that, which can really sort of end a creep wave quickly. He's sort of just more forced to right-click in an Arcane Bolt, to be honest. So Lina is going to pick up this Bounty Rune. It's going to hit level 8. While our Skyrath Mage is nearing level 10, pretty much level 10. Let's go back to the net worth. Skyrath Mage is just pulling further and further away in terms of... Oh, and it looks like we're going to go... Skyrath Mage is going to go on Lina one more time. The Mystic Flare pops. Lina dropping very low, and that's a 2-0 victory for Napstar in this best of 5, taken 3-2. Ah, congratulations, Napstar. Congratulations. Unlucky DeRo.